named foreign government-owned company in contempt, the latest twist in a secret case making its way speedily through the court system as part of special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. Sunday's order from Roberts only puts a pause on the matter long enough for the Supreme Court justices to decide whether they want to intervene in the case. That pause will last until the High Court has time to review a response from the government, which is due on or before December 31st. This is the first known legal challenge in the Mueller investigation to make its way to the Supreme Court. The range of possibilities on the company's identity is vast, CNN reports. It could be anything from a sovereign-owned bank to a state-backed technology or information company. These types of companies have been frequent recipients of requests for information in Mueller's investigation. The unidentified foreign government-owned company had asked the Supreme Court on Saturday to halt the grand jury subpoena it received. The move came after a federal appeals court ruled the company had to comply with the subpoena. The company had been required to turn over information about its commercial activity in the criminal investigation, CNN reported. The appeals court also said the company could face fines for every day of non-compliance. Roberts' holding order also puts a pause on any fines it would rack up. There has been an unusual level of secrecy surrounding the unidentified company and the case. When it was argued at the D.C. Circuit Court earlier this month, the courtroom was closed to the public, Politico reported. Court personnel ordered journalists to leave the floor where lawyers were presenting their positions. The three-judge panel in the D.C. Circuit Court rejected the company's argument that its status as an extension of a foreign government makes it immune from grand jury subpoenas. The judges also were not persuaded by the company's claims that complying with the subpoena would violate the law in the company's home country. Mueller and multiple congressional committees are looking into allegations that there was collusion between Russian operatives and Trump associates during the presidential campaign and transition. In January 13, 2017, the Senate Select Committee announced that it was conducting a probe of Russian meddling in the 2016 presidential election. The investigation was sparked by a declassified report from the Director of National Intelligence (DNI) that described a multifaceted effort led by Russian President Vladimir Putin to interfere with the election by releasing damaging information about Hillary Clinton to help Donald Trump. It is understood that the company's challenge of the subpoena appears to have begun in September. In its ruling this past week, the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia gave few clues about the company and its country of origin or what Mueller's team sought. In a three-page decision obtained by CNN, the Supreme Court judges describe how they had learned confidentially from prosecutors that they had reasonable probability the records requested involved actions that took place outside of the United States, but affected the U.S. prosecutors claimed that the Mueller team is also examining actions related to Turkish, Ukrainian and other foreign government interests. Mueller has already indicted 3 Russian companies and 25 Russians for their alleged contributions to a social media propaganda scheme meant to influence American voters and to the hack of the Democratic Party. The special counsel and other Justice Department units continue to pursue several investigations related to Mueller's investigation. It is thought that Mueller is nearing the end of his investigation and could submit his confidential report to the Attorney General as early as February. Mueller is now tying up loose ends in his investigation into allegations of links and/or coordination between the Trump campaign and the Russian government, U.S. officials and others familiar with the situation told NBC News. 19 months into his investigation, Mueller has yet to publicly provide evidence of the central crime he was appointed to investigate, a conspiracy between members of Donald Trump's campaign and the Russian government to influence the 2016 election. Mueller is also known to be investigating Trump for possible obstruction of justice, including over the firing of FBI Director James Comey. When it is